Hi there. It's time for the Icon Shop Tour. I know it's been a while. And someone just recommended this nifty new Steadicam, so I picked one up. It's by DJI. And it's the very first time I'm using it, so bear with me, but I think you guys will dig it. So here we are in the showroom. We've got some really interesting stuff out here. Here's a 1959 Mercedes Autonauer. Super cool car that hoping to build. I originally was actually going to build this with Mercedes with AMG, and then they kind of got weird on us, and we ended up not doing the deal with them. But pretty nifty car. I think this will make a very interesting derelict. Whoa, how about that camera operator? He's not very skilled, is he? All right, let's not get so tricky. Here we have a one-off that we're building that's inspired by the original DB4 Zagato GT Aston Martin. Pretty magical car. Oh boy, oh, I suck at this. So anyway, really interesting car. I'm looking forward to getting this finished here in the near future. And then next to it we have a 1983 FJ40, sort of the holy grail of the FJ's, extremely rare car. One of 350. And this one is a highly original car, mostly unrestored, that we've been carrying for gosh, about 15 years. Talk about yin and yang. Next to it is one of the two Lincoln Zephyrs that we're building. This is a 1937 Zephyr. Just a magical car, incredible lines. Art Deco at its very, 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 very best. Really interesting lines and dynamics to the car. I wrote a story for GQ and Petrolicious about uncovering this car. You can look that up online. It was pretty wild. We literally found the car in a barn where it had sat since 1954, which is pretty nuts. And really, really unique car. We have two of these, and hopefully we get the opportunity to build them both. Look at that butt. That's just nuts. So there's that. And then I guess the yin to that yang that was to the yin of that car would be this, which is a lovely Ariel Atom, stupid fun car. I used to work with this company back in the day, and really magical little car. This is one of the cars that I sold about 8 or 9 years ago to a client in Northern Cal. It's one of the very few that is California street legal registered, and we currently have that for sale. It's on the TLC site though, because it seemed kind of weird to put on the Icon site. I guess it's weird on the TLC site too, but what are you gonna do? All right, so walking back here into the shop. Everyone just went home, so it's quiet enough I can get this coverage done. This is one of the Icon Thrift Masters. This will be number 3 in the series. This one's currently in the phase of pre-fit. So is our stainless fuel system and the exhaust all routed and done. And now we're pretty close to tearing it back apart. We've finished the metal work. We've pre-fit all the instrumentation and all the details and climate control and custom dash. And then we're going to blow this apart here within the next week or two. How about that intake, huh? Don't worry, it'll get rotated. Here's some closer shots of that dash design. First around the back side. So this is all CNC aluminum. Just a pretty complex beast. What this does is it facilitates the modern CarPlay double DIN dash, climate control, bit 1 audio control, glove box, all into a very simple panel that keeps the stock aesthetics. It's kind of hard to tell right now because of the green tape, but trust me. Here we have the hood being pre-fit with our CNC badging, and then we're just now fitting the stainless rib as well. Alright, so that's sort of what we call our prototyping bay, whereas we're developing a new line for Icon. Until we've built 5 or 6 of them, we'll assemble them on that bay and get everything all lined up and working correctly. Here we have a Icon Bronco, or Icon VR. Final assembly phase. I like those rims. So this is coming together. We're just joined the body to the chassis. And now we're working through all the details. Cages fit, poly coating on the floor is done. All the cargo panels are all addressed. And let's see, where else were we? I think we had done the front clip. Yeah, front clip's on. Badging is on. You'll notice that's a variation of our previous badge. Ford has told us we need to not say Bronco. Since we say Icon on the front, they considered that a trademark violation. So trying to keep everyone happy. So it's the Icon BR, but you and me both know it is our beloved vintage Bronco, just restored and modified by Icon. But what are you going to do, right? So that one's coming together for final assembly. This one just came out of the oven and is being assembled. The upholstery and everything sitting over here waiting for it, as well as all the other small parts are up there on the rack waiting their turn. This just came out of the oven getting the polyurea coating. So now we'll finish that up and begin final assembly. Here we have another one that's just being finished up. This is a lovely warm brown, gorgeous truck. Here we have the next one in line that's just been media blasted, and we're prepping the body. This is the chassis for that same vehicle sitting here. And this is the chassis for the pretty powder coated gray one that I showed you. Those two will get joined up here in the next week or so. Here we have Icon production area. So first here is an FJ40 Icon. Then we have a 43. Then we have another 40. Then we have another 43. And then right after that is a 44. It's kind of hard to tell because it's just the raw chassis up on the rack currently, but it's coming together. So what we've done is we've already pre-fit these primary parts, and now the chassis just came out of the oven getting powder coated. So there you can see Hart Morrison's beautiful welds, and the finish quality of the powder coat is really hard to argue with. Also over here we have the front axle getting pre-assembled. This is one of the first that's featuring the Icon brand wheels, which we're really excited about. These are forged aluminum, made in America. They're quite nice. Kept the branding kind of subtle, see it right there. On the back side, not so subtle. This features the new Icon Brembo brake package, which is significant to say the least. So we have magical brakes. 6-piston front calipers, 4-piston rear, oversized rotors, and just world class. So in the coming week, that'll get all final assembled. Over here we have the powertrain for that vehicle, and that's getting prepped. And then right behind it is the rear axle. Over here on the rack, we have another FJ40 Icon. This is actually a pretty much as new second-hand truck. Unfortunately, it sat in a airplane hangar with a bunch of other nifty cars that kind of weren't used much. They just sat there in this dude's collection. So we sent it back to us, and we're reselling that truck right now. Really nice truck. This is a fun one. This is sort of DNR alley where we do all of the one-off builds. So this is, gosh, I think I'm accurate in saying 1959, maybe a 60 Willis Overland two-door wagon. Coming together, it's in the pre-fit phase right now. You'll notice here with the wheels that the wheels are CNC'd aluminum. The goal here was to keep the design reminiscent of the stock steel 15-inch wheel, but we CNC'd it at a larger size, the 16 in this case, so that we could fit the modern four-wheel disc brake system. This one is getting a E-rod, so that's a General Motors 5.3 aluminum fuel-injected V8 with full emissions. It's a really nice motor, tons of power, and it's going to serve this truck well. Here we're at the pre-fit, so basically you'll see things like the Hydro Boost assembly, the powertrain, steering linkage, exhaust system, chassis is all getting fabricated and confirmed before we do anything in finish coat. We'll take this all apart after this, but for now what we really want to do is make sure that everything's getting along well together. And like today we just built the radiator out of cardboard, because that's something we do fairly analog on these, because as a one-off it's hard to justify the CAD time. This truck features all original paint and upholstery, which is just remarkable. It was at a boys camp in Maryland, and it literally just sat there waiting for summer to roll around, and they'd pick up the kids and take them out and about, and then when a kid broke a bone, they'd take him to the town doctor, and then when everything was said and done, they would go ahead and put it back in the concrete floor warehouse and wait till the next season. Camp closed in the early 70s, and the vehicle's just been sitting ever since, which is pretty wild. We're redesigning the dash to stay very stock. We're running modern climate control, iPhone dock, and stock looking gauge cluster hyper modified, but we'll get into that more in the future here. That truck should be done here in the coming months. Here's a nifty LS3. This is a LS3 with a 4L65E tranny. This is, again, a General Motors E-Rod. That will be fit into this lovely 1941. This is a Cadillac. It's designed by Brooks Stevens. Very nice, streamlined coupe, sedanette, really nice butt. Not much to look at now, but in about 8 months, I hope to show it off to you. The body is now, we're addressing any rust issues, and then next we're going to move on to the polyurea and all that. The chassis has already been factored and fit, and it's still again in raw metal. Once we finish the rust work on this body, then we will conjoin the two and then move towards final assembly, and then we'll wrap it up and ship it. This one's kind of hard, so it's really hard to explain. Client's a Blues Brothers fan. It is a Caprice Classic. It's an Florida DEA car. We're putting monstrous power and all sorts of unique efficiencies in that, and then it'll be completely debadged, have a very vintage aesthetic, and well, not vintage, but sort of sleeper. It'll, you know, we're getting rid of all the exterior trim, all the plastic stuff, CNCing it, debadging it. Basically, it'll be gray and black, and the client's one-sentence design mandate on it was, get the out of my lane. So it's going to be a freeway flyer, and it should be tons of fun. Moving on through here, gosh, everything's out on test drive. I thought I had more to show you. Well, supposedly on this rack, I would have been showing you a Blazer, a Chevy Blazer that we're doing. It's an Icon Reformer. Over here is its sister, which is a GMC Jimmy. This one is in the final assembly phase, and we had some fun with this one. We redesigned all of the trim and details on it, redesigned the suspension, steering system, Hydro Boost brakes, LS3, again an E-Rod, full bison hide interior. We did a really heavy pebble grain bison at the client request. In the dash, we modified the dash fairly extensively as well. The dash is running an iPad mini Retina and modern tilt column, and then we redesigned all of these gauge panels and all the switches, so it's all CNC'd and aluminum and nickel plated. The climate control module and the iPad are there, and then over there you'll notice the glove box is split into two. One keeps the AC vents and the four-wheel drive instruction plate intact, while the upper portion articulates to allow access. This truck is featuring the Atlas II twin-stick transfer case to a 4L85E, and then the carpet on this vehicle is all Mercedes Hargarten. The audio system will be a Bit1 digital system by Moscone, and then the speakers are all focal audio. So this panel is all laser cut and CNC'd. You can see the dynamat where the bass is going to go. And we're still getting our act together and getting this one all finished up, but it was worth showing you what we got so far. We also did custom taillights, custom CNC trim on the taillights, and then we have custom trim across the tailgate and a laser cut icon badging offset because of the spare tire. What else do we have? We've got the D200 sitting here. Unfortunately, this guy has to sell it, going through a divorce, liquidating all the toys. So we're going to be reselling that for the client and listing it on the site here shortly. Over here we have another FJ43. This one you may have seen the video, just posted a couple days ago. That one's getting shipped out here any day. And then over here we have an FJ44 that we're prepping to resell secondhand. Really nice truck. We have my beloved DeSoto wagon, which I still drive daily, sitting here and chilling. And then over here we have the Superbird. We're calling this project the Hellion. We are taking a new Hellcat and a real Superbird and combining the two to build quite the monster. Right now it's all in raw metal. First we started by rectifying all the ills of time related to the body damage and stuff, and then you can see some of the chassis they're peeking through. We're running Art Morrison chassis, of course, with four-wheel independent. It's going to be pretty wild, and we're going to keep launch control, ABS, center touch screen, push start, key fob, and hopefully all of the functionality of the Hellcat in this vehicle. So you'll see a lot more on this one here in the future, but it's pretty radical. And then there we have a Icon FJ Resto Mod. I actually built that truck probably about 10 years ago, but it's back for resale. So let's see if there's enough light in the backyard. I don't think there is, but I can show you all those projects too. Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty dark out here. Here's tonight's ride. This is a Bronco that we're just finishing up right now. This will actually be the first time that I get a chance to have a seat in it. I'm looking forward to it. It's a lovely color. It's kind of like a, I don't know, like a brandy wine, burgundy, candy metallic, but it's actually not candy. These are all derelict projects in waiting, and then over here on the left, these are all Icon projects, or customer cars or what have you. There's a whole bunch of stuff sitting here waiting to be done. Going down the derelict road, here we have a Rolls-Royce Cloud Series 1. That's going to be a monstrous derelict being going to go off to Australia. Next to it we have this 49 Mercury Coupe, which is going to be a really good one to do. Then we have a 46 Pontiac Streamline Coupe, really cool car. Again, I'm a sucker for those sedanettes. It's got a great back, really cool butt side. Can't really see from here, but anyway. What else? We have a 41 Oldsmobile. That's going to be a derelict. We're going to get started on here pretty quickly. Then we have an old Ferrari. That'll be a reformer. And a Hudson Pacemaker Coupe. That'll be a derelict. 50 Studebaker Starlight Coupe, unsold. I'm hoping someone commissions that to be a derelict. And then a 34 DeSoto Airflow. Magical car. This one I'm actually going to keep. So I'm looking forward to building that as well. Next to it is a Pontiac Safari station wagon, again unsold. Hopefully you can find someone who loves that as much as I do, make a cool derelict. Here's a Thrift Master in waiting. And here's a very rare Diamond T pickup. I'm looking forward to building that. And then this one's kind of a weirdo. This is it's called a Ward, which is my last name. I never even knew these beasts existed. and I just stumbled into it, and I'm such a geek, I had to have it. So I'm going to hope to build, I don't know when, but an RV, sort of summer fun surfing creative project for me and the family. So I'm looking forward to building that. And then I can't forget the other Zephyr. So here is the other 37 Zephyr, and this one's in line for a build as well. We haven't really boiled it down exactly, so we're either going to go reformer on one, derelict on the other, derelict on both, reformer on both. I'm not really sure yet. Still in discussions with the clients, but anxious to have the opportunity to build them. So there you go. That's it. That's the shop tour. Thanks for watching. See ya.